Hello people of the internet, it's Amanda, and it's been a while since I've made a video here on my channel. I've just been so awfully busy lately, but I watched this drama recently and it really got me excited and made me want to make a video about it, and that's the reason why we're here today. I'm talking about Hakoniwa no Remingu, or Trapped Lemming, which is a 2021 drama that has been put on Netflix recently. If your country has been putting a lot of like J-dramas on the platform in the last couple of months or so, you probably might have this title as well, but I'm talking specifically for Netflix Philippines. I haven't really heard of this drama prior, but I do know like some of the actors and actresses that appeared in the episodes. Are only like 4 episodes, so it's quite an easy watch. And I think it's really interesting. It's not offering anything new to the table per se, since it talks about, you know, social media, social commentary on the way that people use social media, or even like online interactions, the way people get swayed by misinformation, all of these things. Something that's already been like the content of many social commentary dramas, TV shows, movies lately. But I don't know, I just find it really enjoyable, and that's the reason why I want to talk about it. And I think to some extent it also hits close to home, and I'll be discussing that a little bit more later as well. But with that said, let's get to it. No, hold up. Before we get to it, I just want to talk about the definition of lemming, because I didn't know what that meant up until, you know, I got curious about the title of the series. And according to dictionary.com, being a lemming means being a person who follows the will of others, especially in a mass movement, and heads straight into a situation or circumstance that is dangerous, stupid, or destructive. These lemmings that eat up conspiracy theories are so blinded by lies they don't even see the cliff they're about to plummet over. It's quite interesting, since again, the entire vibe of the series is talking about the dangers of social media, people just feeding on the information that they get without really verifying these information, or getting swayed by public opinion, etc. And I don't know, that term is just so fitting for this. I think it's a smart way to like incorporate that into narrative. But anyways, with that said, so here it is. Let's just get to it. So basically, it can be considered kind of like an anthology, since even if there's kind of like this introduction with this YouTuber talking about, you know, topics, etc., like where the episode would take you, like the core storyline for each episode is still very much separate from one another. And I think, yeah, I can really consider kind of like watching it, at least the first 3, you know, watching it depending on your mood and stuff. But overall, I think just leave the last episode as it is, because it kind of like wraps everything around. Just something to suggest, you know, if you want to like switch up watching it, or you can just watch it in the order that is on Netflix, because I mean, again, as I mentioned, it's just 4 episodes, so yeah. But if you have like a short attention span, you can definitely like watch whichever episode, and they can stand alone in a way as they are. So yeah. Now the first episode revolves around, you know, this younger sister and the older sister, and they kind of like get into the virality of social media platform. Like the younger sister, she's conventionally pretty, you know, young, all that, and then because of that, she gets popular in the platform. And then her sister, who is a shut-in, finds kind of like, when one of her videos went viral, even if people are making fun of her, calling her disgusting, anything like that, you know how it is, how mean and ridiculous people can be on the internet. The older sister find that very appealing, because she's getting attention, and so she did more and more things to get people's attention, and things really got turned for the worse for both of them. And that's basically just how it is. You know, it's people feeding on this kind of like vulnerability that someone has, kind of like being mean to someone online and seeing that they're doing these things for attention, etc., etc. And then, it's like a parasitic, not really parasitic, but mutual relationship. But at the same time, it's not exactly beneficial for one another. It's just they're kind of like just feeding off of each other to feed each other's egos. And that's one of the main, storylines of like the first episode. Second episode, it talks about this welfare worker. His video goes viral because he rejects some paperwork from this woman. It's just part of the job, but the video, it's framed to in a way to criticize him. It goes viral, and because of that, he gets harassed by this lynch club, like raking in information about him, his girlfriend, pinning people who are helping him out in the ordeal and stuff. And then after that, the issue gets clarified in a way, but he's already suffered the effects of kind of like public justice or public opinion. Third is a little bit more feeding into fan culture and at the same time just stalking culture. They've cited one instance there where a fan used the reflection from the idol's eyes to find out where that idol lives, which is scary because it is an actual thing that happened in Japan. They were talking about it sort of like an experiment for class, but eventually it takes a wrong turn. Again, I'm not trying to like give spoilers. I'm just giving an overview of what the episodes are about. But that's another thing. And then lastly, it revolves around the YouTuber who was covering the initial events of episodes 1, 2, and 3. He wasn't getting as much views and stuff like that. And then, he does this thing for attention, for views, all these things. And, again, it's all... A lot of the points in each episode are definitely kind of like exaggerated, obviously for entertainment purposes and stuff like that, but they're not really far off from the truth. And again, like if you've seen Black Mirror on Netflix, which also comments a lot on technology and our relationship with it, this one falls more on the realistic side of these kinds of like storylines, but it kind of reminded me of Black Mirror in a way where people really have gone through these extremes to use technology and social media for things that are just, for the most basic term there is, unhealthy and toxic. Now, I think the reason why I find it entertaining is because a lot of the episodes talked about creators going viral, creating content, or just generally our relationship with social media. And again, for me as a content creator and as someone who is involved in social media in almost a lot of ways, given my daily life, there's something relatable to some extent. As a user, I think all of us, we have developed this kind of like dependency on social media or looking up information online with our smartphones, all these things. So there's that. And then from a content creator perspective, I kind of like understand how it is where I'm saying this not in the meanest manner, but I think every person who tries to create content and tries to share it, no matter how big or small you are, to some extent, there is that wanting to be acknowledged, to be recognized. And so, there are examples where it's really hitting extremes, and some people are very much aware of this and try not to get themselves too absorbed in that kind of like attention, etc., etc. But there are moments when you want to surrender to it, especially the attention, etc., etc. If you're working hard for something, you want to get attention, and you notice that there's a particular thing that people are paying attention to, and you subscribe to that so that you will be able to hype yourself up. And there's that thing that I think creators or just people in general have to be very wary about. But again, it's so real how this drama kind of like portrayed how even the kindest person can be swayed by, or kindest or smartest or the most, I don't know, like the most logical person can easily be swayed by these kinds of situations, because that's just how, like, what the world we live in now revolves on. Is there's a lot of affirmation that you get online, and even at work, you know, it kind of like affects your online presence or who you are virtually, kind of like blurs the lines as to who you are in real life. And I don't know, but because of that, like, again, this isn't something new, but it's very interesting how this drama was able to kind of like portray that in different scenarios in just 4 episodes. There's really not like a lesson to be learned or whatever. There's no, they didn't really like press on the like preachiness of it. They just went for why, like the entertainment value of it, and you kind of like, they just kind of like leave you in these cliffhangers in the ending. It makes you kind of like want to think how things transpired, or what happens after, what does that particular ending scene meant, or something like that. I don't know. I just feel like overall, if you're looking for something interesting, that's also kind of like relatable, some of the parts a little bit creepy, but not in a horror thriller kind of way, just, you know, like just exciting and entertaining and stuff, I really highly recommend this series. Again, it's just 4 episodes. It's so easy to watch. I think each episode is only around, the longest episode is around 40 minutes, but the rest of it is just around 30 minutes. So it's just so easy to like binge. And I don't know, I just, I think the episode about the idol and the stalking one was the most predictable for me. I mean, there are a lot of predictable arcs in each of the episodes, but overall it just didn't ruin the experience for me. It still was fun. I think my favorite would probably be episode 2, or the last episode. But yeah, I mean, it's nothing exceptional, but it wouldn't bore you as well. So yeah, and that's the reason why I just wanted to like sit down and talk about it. If you've seen it, tell me down in the comments below what other J-dramas are available on your Netflix or in other streaming platforms that you're using, that you're currently binging or watching, or something that you would like to recommend and stuff like that. Let's also talk about that in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel and you would want to hear more from me, please hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you again soon in a new one. Bye!